Here at Neyland Stadium in the postgame after Game 2 of the 2021 season, Tennessee falls at home to Pittsburgh 41-34 in the Johnny Majors Classic. I'm Vince Ferrara alongside Josh Ward, co-host of Sports 180 noon to 3 p.m. every weekday on 99.1 The Sports Animal. And Josh, this was a game that was very long, pretty exhausting to take in and watch everything that happened in this game. But what a perfect start for Tennessee. You couldn't ask for more with the defensive stand, the block, and then punching it in.
Yeah, I love Tennessee's chances to win the game when that happened, and that feels like forever ago considering everything that happened later as the game went along, and there's so much to take from it. But special teams, energy, that stayed throughout. The effort on the defensive side, even when things started to go against them, they continued to fight back. But I think fans, one positive takeaway will be that the effort, the mindset to not give up when things felt like they were going away from them with the injuries they were dealing with, starting at quarterback, but Jabari Small going down with injury, and that's something that they might have to deal with throughout the season. But the players continue to fight all the way through, obviously just came up short.
Yeah, and then so many missed opportunities early in the game. We continue to see the misses on the deep ball from Joe Milton, at least 5, maybe 6 early on before he went out with an injury.
Yeah, there are a lot of different plays that Tennessee would like to get back. Penalties that affected what they were doing. They had a chance near the goal line to maybe get into the end zone and ended up with a long field goal because of penalties that Tennessee had. So getting that cleaned up will be a big priority. The quarterback position is going to be the biggest question, I think, entering the week. What happens with Joe Milton? He wasn't able to come back. But what would have happened, I think, is something that a lot of people are wondering. Hendon Hooker did some good things. Yeah. He had an interception when they got the ball back with a chance to drive down the field and score. I know fans are a little frustrated with the officiating. So, again, there is a lot that you can take from this one.
Yeah, and Hendon Hooker, I think, really gave them a chance in that rally back. They kept creeping back to within 7 points. Not ideal, though, when your 2 leading rushers are your 2 quarterbacks that played in the game. Without having Ty and Evans in the game and Jabari Small going down, Jalen Wright really wasn't able to bust out. I think that running game, whether it's getting guys back or bringing in new guys, they got to figure that aspect out.
No doubt. The Jabari Small injury had to affect, in some ways, what they wanted to do. They were really down to 1 scholarship running back it appeared they trusted. I think Josh Heupel would probably like to get that decision back to go for the draw instead of just taking a knee at the end of the first half. That's one I don't truly understand. But the quarterback's going to be involved in the running game. That's really important to this offense. I think that was pretty obvious going into the Pitt game, and it was emphasized as the game went along.
So back to the quarterbacks for a quick second. I know some fans reacted to it during the game, and you're going to get asked about it on the Sports Animal this week, is no Harrison Bailey. What do you think of Tennessee going with Hooker now in the 2 games that they've called on a backup quarterback?
Yeah, I think Hendon's the second guy, considering he was kind of put into a position to help in the middle of the game. There's a trust factor there with what he's done at Virginia Tech and his experience in college. As the season goes along, maybe that changes. But, I think the bigger question is how much trust do they have in Joe Milton with an opportunity? But I think Hendon Hooker's the guy that, with his experience and with what he can do running the football, that's the guy to count on.
What did you think of Pitt overall? What kind of challenge were they in the end for Tennessee?
Yeah, pretty good considering they have a quarterback with a ton of experience. So he made some plays, a rollout to escape pressure and fire a really nice throw into the end zone. It's not the most athletic team that Tennessee is going to play. They'll see more of that in the SEC. But I still look at Pitt and think, okay, the Kentucky game, the Missouri game, South Carolina for sure, in Knoxville, those are games that Tennessee has to be in a position to win. I think they're very comparable to Pitt, maybe a little bit better, a couple of those teams. But Tennessee had a chance until the end to win the game against Pitt. I think they'll have a chance to beat those other teams too.
Does this game change your opinion of Tennessee moving forward this season?
No, not really. I do wonder about depth. You know, the injury's already happening. If that continues, that's going to be a real problem for Tennessee. But I thought going in, this would be a tough game for Tennessee to win. I thought Pitt would win the game, and that happened. So in terms of a record, that has not changed.
Yeah, got to get Cooper Mays back. Yeah. Byron Young, we haven't been able to see what he and Tyler Barron with that edge pass rush they could be like. Got to get some of those guys back in the mix because, like you said, they don't have the depth to fall back on yet.
Yeah, Barron's an early season positive, dealing with some injury issues that affected him during the game against Pitt. Mm-hmm. But he's a guy with a ton of talent. He's going to be a really good player for Tennessee. If you can get Byron Young to join him, the pass rush gets better. I think the The plays that Tennessee's made up front at different times has been good. On the offensive side, guys stepped up like Jimmy Callaway, unable to go in game one. Jacob Warren emerging in the offense. A number of pass catchers. Jalen Hyatt goes down, so you needed some of those other players to step up.
Yeah, tight ends finally involved in the offense more than we've seen in quite a while. So a mixed bag, kind of like what we saw in game one, but this one does not go Tennessee's way. Tennessee and Tennessee Tech next Saturday, another noon game here at Neyland Stadium. So we'll have tons of coverage throughout the week. There's still post game for hours here on the Sports Animal Sunday Sports Sound Off with Jimmy Himes and Tim Irwin, 8 to 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. And then Josh and Heather on Sports 180. Will and Tyler starting early on at 6 a.m. on Monday morning. And then, of course, Eric and Brian. And then moving on to Sports Talk Monday afternoon. So lots of reaction still to Tennessee falling at home to Pittsburgh, 41-34 in the Johnny Majors Classic here at Neyland Stadium. For Josh Ward at Chandler Emerson, I'm Vince Ferrara. Thanks for watching here at 99.1 thesportsanimal.com and all our social media platforms. See ya.